Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is CJUFCPicks, the Smoke Sesh, along with my co-host Gibbs. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video, share the video, and tell everyone you know about CJUFCPicks, the Smoke Sesh. Make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to share the video. It helps us out, and we really appreciate it. Also, go check out my dude, my co-host, Gibbs, Sports Fanatic Gibbs on YouTube. Make sure to give him a sub and check him out. Tonight, we're breaking down one of the best cards in UFC history. Extremely stacked card. I'm talking about from top to bottom. This card is stacked. The prelims are stacked. The main card is stacked. And every fight is a bettable fight. I'm talking about UFC 300, probably the biggest pay-per-view in UFC history. What do you think about this card, bro?
Super excited, brother. Like, man, just like you just said, from top to bottom, man, everything is bettable and everything. I don't want to miss no fight on this card, and I won't.
I'm definitely not missing this card, not for a long shot. Make sure to check this card out. Even if you have to order it, folks, it's going to be well worth your money. And let's get right into it, folks. Let's get right into it for UFC 300. Make sure to drop a subscribe and make sure to join us for the Smoke Sesh. Today, I got what you always smoke, bro. I got the Tropicana on deck. I finally got it.
How is it?
I haven't tried it. I saved it just for this. Just for tonight.
Let's go.
What about
brother.
you? What you got on there?
So I'm still on that Long Island. I got pretty much a whole zip of it left. So we gotta go ahead and finish that out.
All right, let's get into it, folks. UFC 300 breakdown, and the main event is very intriguing, very interesting. Pereira versus Hill. We'll get into that in just a moment. But let's go over to the first fight of the card. UFC 300, folks. There you see it, April 13th. By the time you guys see this video, I'm going to be in Philadelphia. I'm going to be seeing WrestleMania 40. But let's get into it right now. The first fight of the night. Can you believe the first fight of the night, folks, is between two former champions? We have Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. Deiveson Figueiredo, 22-3, 36 years old, 5'5", 68-inch reach. Cody Garbrandt, 14-5, 32 years old, 5'8", 65.5-inch reach. Deiveson Figueiredo, like I said, a former champion. He's been in so many wars, especially with Brandon Moreno. Cody Garbrandt, also a former champion. One can say, though, his chin is kind of dusty. You know, if he takes a couple big shots to the chin, he's going night-night. So he's not dependable in that department. He's not very durable. But he's got very slick boxing, very good footwork, and good wrestling. Deiveson Figueiredo, though, he's a little monster, and he's a dog. He can take some hits, and he can dish out heat, too. He's got good boxing himself, good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's got good takedowns, good takedown defense. And ever since he went down a weight class, he's been looking excellent. So I think he's going to win this fight, and I think he's going to get it done inside the distance, knockout, TKO, or submission. Give me Deiveson Figueiredo to win this fight. Who you got in this fight, bro?
Yeah, man. So first fight of UFC 300, we are lining up on the exact same method and person. Give me Deiveson Figueiredo by TKO. And let me tell you guys why. So, you know, you got a guy in Cody Garbrandt, man. He looked real good versus Brian Boom Kelleher, that is, last 3 months ago. And then, you know, he came and had a nice little wrestling decision over Trevin Jones. But Deiveson Figueiredo, you know, he was coming from the flyweight division, and he looked nothing but short versus Rob Font, a guy that Cody Garbrandt got a decision in a 5-rounder against. So Deiveson Figueiredo, man, he's just a guy who's going to plot forward. And Cody Garbrandt has just shown, in the past that the guys that he loses to are guys that plot for it and they get in his face and they get active. Like bro alluded to, I think the expiration on Cody Garbrandt's chin is probably expired probably about 2 years ago. And that's who drinks spoiled milk. I know I'm not drinking spoiled milk. So you go ahead and give me I know Deiveson Figueiredo, he is 36 years old, but man, that guy, he just he has that nuke. And I just feel in this matchup, Deiveson Figueiredo is gonna find that mark. So we're gonna slide to the next one, and that's Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. And we got a good fight there, folks. You know, Jim Miller, we've been campaigning, me and CJ, we've been campaigning to get our guy Jim Miller on this card. And here he is after that big win he had versus Gabriel Benavidez. So, hey, man, I just think in this fight here, you know, this fight's actually interesting. And I was going back and forth. This is one of them fights. And go ahead and give me Bobby King Green and get it done, man. So Bobby Green, he's coming in as a minus 210 favorite. He's 6-1 as a favorite. Jim Miller, he's plus 162 underdog in this spot here, and he's 5-13 as a dog in the UFC, and that really caught my eyes. And he's 19-3 as a favorite, so that means that the market knows when he's going to win or lose, and I already think this is a bad matchup for Jim Miller because we've seen Jim Miller get beat up by a guy in Alexander Hernandez. How are you getting pot shotted and beat up by a guy like that? If that's happening to you, what's going to happen when Bobby Green gets his hands on you? The level of competition has been through the roof for Bobby King Green as of recent. As of recent, you know, Jim Miller ain't really been fighting nobody. Mowgli Benavidez, okay. Jesse Butler, who is that? Alexander Hernandez, that's when he got beat up. He lost that one. Then he beat up Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone had one foot out the door. So, and then his last good win, in my opinion, came 2 years ago against Nicholas Mota. And that's a young gun. So to be honest with you guys, I think this is a tailor-made matchup for Bobby King Green as long as he can stay away from the knockout. So on my template, my prediction is Bobby King Green by decision. What you got, CJ?
I honestly was going back and forth on this fight, guys. I think this fight is going to be closer than the number says. Both of these guys are veterans in the UFC. Both of these guys have fought tough competition. Both of these guys are very experienced. But I think Jim Miller is a little bit more grittier. And I think he has more toughness than Bobby Green. Bobby Green, better boxing, better cardio probably, and he's got sneaky submissions. So if this goes to the ground, he can get covered there. Honestly, I'm staying away from this fight, man. This is a stay away fight for me. But in the end, just because I'm a bigger Jim Miller fan than Bobby Green, so this might be a little biased pick. Jim Miller to win by decision. I don't think anyone is going to finish in this fight. Let's move on up to the next fight in the card. Can you believe this card, folks? This card is stacked, man. A fight like this should be on the main card. Scheduled in the women's strawweight division, we got Jéssica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Jéssica Andrade, she is 25-12, 32 years old, 5'1", 62-inch reach. Marina Rodriguez, she's 17-3, 5'6", with a 65-inch reach. So Marina Rodriguez is coming in here with a 5-inch or 5 height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. So she's going to have the height and reach advantage here. Jéssica Andrade is the younger fighter, but she looks older, if that makes sense. She's fought the tougher competition. She's a former champion. So this is a bit of a step up of competition for Marina Rodriguez. I think this fight is going to a decision. I don't think any of these fighters are going to finish because they're both pretty tough. And I don't know who to pick here. This is another pick-em fight for me. But I'm going with Jéssica Andrade, bro. I think she's got more power, more dog in her, and more experience. That's why I'm picking her in this fight.
Yeah. This fight is absolutely a coin flip for a reason. And yeah, I'm actually rolling with Marina Rodriguez to go ahead and get the decision win. And let me tell you guys why. So Jessica Andrade, a girl that she got pieced up. She got pieced up 2 fights ago versus Nan Xiaonan. That was actually 2 fights ago. She got submitted by Tatiana Suarez. She get that woman a title shot. She's pretty good too. And then she got the knockout win versus Kinsey Dern, and she was the big dog in that one. So I think Marina Rodriguez, man, she's shown, man, in a striking battle. If it's just a striking battle, she's gonna beat you. She hasn't really lost to no striker other than Amanda Lemos. That was a bad loss, but she was having issues. And they were saying she was having a stomach bug and she didn't want to pull out of that fight. So we can excuse that one, to be honest with you. Marina Rodriguez, she's 3-0 as a dog, and I like that. She's 3-0 as a dog, so she's gonna fight for your money. Jessica Andrade, she's 14-6 as a favorite. So, one could say that she fights for she's gonna fight for your dollar. Line opened up as a -120, so that's where I'm getting dog and favorite spots for these women. Andrade, they opened up as a -120 favorite, but the lines came in on Rodriguez, and the people are seeing the same way. Because if this fight just stays on the feet and Jessica Andrade, she just doesn't get her wrestling going, Marina Rodriguez is gonna bank the first 2 rounds, and then I could see Jessica Andrade coming in late and finding something. So I'm going Marina Rodriguez by decision. Like bro said, I don't think no one's gonna get stopped. Next one up though, we got Jalin Turner versus Renato Moicano. And on a fight night card, you can't tell me this couldn't be a main event. This card is really stacked. You got the Tarantula coming in 14-7. Renato Moicano 18-5-1. Renato Moicano 2-fight win streak. He had beat Brad Riddell, submitted him, and then he fought like a coward just 2 months ago versus Drew Dober. And I picked Renato Moicano by submission. He fought like a bitch in that fight. And to be honest with you, I went back and watched that fight. I just watched it, but I had to go back and watch it. I watched everybody's last fight and a couple other ones. And Renato Moicano, some I noticed, man, he didn't like the shots that were coming his way with Drew Dober. Drew Dober clipped him in the second round, and then he got the takedown because Drew initiated the grappling. So if Drew was a smarter fighter, that's why I picked against Drew. If Drew was a smarter fighter, he would have got Renato out of there. But Jalin Turner, this dude, there is no running away from Jalin Turner in that octagon. When you're in there with Jalin Turner, he's on your ass at all times. And Jalin Turner has a sneaky ground game, and people don't know that. But I do. That dude, he got his black belt from Carlin's Gracie in California. That dude, he's a savage. And in this fight, man, I'm going Jalin Turner by knockout, not TKO. I'm going Jalin Turner by KO. I'm predicting Renato Moicano to get slept. What you thinking, bro?
I'm thinking this is another close back and forth fight, to be honest, bro. Because Moicano, people keep sleeping on him. People keep underrating him, and he's kind of nasty, bro, especially on the ground. If he gets you on the ground, you're going to have some problems. But Jalin Turner also pretty nasty on the ground. But he's a wishy-washy fighter, in my opinion, bro. Jalin Turner, every time I make a bet on him, I lose. And every time I don't pick him, I lose. So this time around, I'm picking Jalin Turner because he's got the height advantage. He's got the reach advantage. And they fought similar competition. They've been in the UFC for around the same amount of time. This is going to be a close fight, guys. This is going to be a really, really close fight. Another fight I might not bet. I got to do a little bit more research on this fight, to be honest. But my heart and my gut right now is telling me Jalin Turner is going to win it. Not sure how he's going to do it, though. Probably by knockout, like you said. Next fight, guys. This is going to be a banger right here. Scheduled in the men's featherweight division, we got Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. Sodiq Yusuff, he's 13-3, 30 years old, 5'9", 71 inch reach. Diego Lopes. He is 23-6, 29 years old, 5'11", with a 72.5-inch reach. This is going to be a good fight, folks. This is going to be a scrappy fight right here. Both of these guys are really good. Still very young in their UFC careers, but I gotta go with Diego Lopes in this fight, guys. He's the more dangerous fighter here. He's gonna have the height advantage. He's gonna have the reach advantage, the youth advantage, the cardio advantage. He's better on the ground. He's gonna have more power. I think he's got Sodiq Yusuff everywhere, and I'm making him my lock of the card. I am considering I'm making Diego Lopes my lock of the card, guys, because this guy has championship material in him. This might be his toughest test to date in this fight, but I think he's got what it takes, and I think he's ready to take over and win this fight. What do you got in this fight, dude?
Yeah, brother. I'm thinking that Diego Lopes is definitely going to come in here and stop Super Sodiq Yusuff. You got Diego Lopes. He's 23-6. Sodiq Yusuff, he's 13-3. So Diego Lopes got double his experience, literally double. He got double his record of losses and double his wins. And he's the younger fighter here. So Diego Lopes is just a more active fighter all in general. If you look at their last fights, their last 5 fights, Sodiq Yusuff's fifth fight came in 2020 in Lopes 2022. So man, this is just a spot where Diego Lopes is just going to be the better active fighter. He's the more dangerous fighter in this matchup. So we've seen that Sodiq Yusuff pretty much has one round. He had that one round versus Edson Barbosa, where if he didn't get him out of there, he had Edson Barbosa rocked and wobbled in that first round. But after that, Edson Barbosa took over, and Edson almost knocked him out in the 4th round. So go ahead and give me Diego Lopes. Go ahead and give me the more dangerous fighter, man. The more dangerous fighter is easily Diego Lopes here. So yeah, go ahead and give me Mr. Diego Lopes. Yeah, whenever bro gets back, we will slide over to the next one. You back? All right, so I'm sliding over to Holm, Kayla Harrison. So we got Kayla Harrison making her UFC debut, guys. And I'm excited for it because I actually watch PFL as well. And yeah, I've been watching Kayla Harrison. She's been a decisionator, and I've been putting Kayla Harrison by decision. I've been making a lot of money off that. Kayla Harrison, 16-1. The preacher's daughter, Holm, 15-6. Holm's 42 years old going into this bout. 33 is Kayla Harrison making her UFC debut. So you're gonna see 150 pounds for Kayla Harrison because they didn't have featherweight and lightweight divisions for they had that in PFL. They don't have that now. So Kayla Harrison's coming to the bantamweight division, and I've been watching Kayla Harrison on Instagram, and she looks phenomenal. She's in fantastic shape. I feel like this is a terrible matchup for Holm because Holm, man, she loses to wrestlers, man. That's what happens. She always loses to wrestlers. And Kayla Harrison, I noticed she's making a UFC debut, but she was 15-1 as a favorite in PFL. Granted, she's fighting slouches. She's fighting nobodies. She did fight Larissa Pacheco. Larissa Pacheco actually took her the second time in her fight and won $1 million off of Kayla Harrison. So, but I think this is just a fight where Kayla Harrison drags this girl, Holm, down to the mat, and she's going to be controlling minutes. I'd be lying to you guys if I say that Kayla Harrison is going to get a stoppage here, but she's going to get a decision. So, death, taxes, and Kayla Harrison by decision. So that's the pick, my boy. Who you got?
I think this fight is going to be closer than the number says, bro. I think the line is way off. I understand that Holm is almost 43 years old, but she's a former UFC champion, and she's fought the tougher competition by far. She's been in the UFC forever now, so she's got the UFC experience on her belt. She's got the better kickboxing. Yeah, she's got trouble from wrestlers, but can Kayla Harrison make 135? And if she does make 135, can she keep up with the cardio? Because we all know Holm got cardio for days. She don't get tired. She can run marathons out there. She's been in plenty of 5-round fights. And that's why I'm picking Holly Holm in this fight, guys. Holly Holm is going to out-cardio Kayla Harrison and win this fight. I promise you that's going to happen because look at the weight discrepancy. 150 pounds. She's got to cut 15 pounds to make weight. That means her cardio is going to be diminished after the first round. I promise you, if this fight happens and then if this fight goes after the first round, Holly Holm's going to win this fight, guys. I promise.
You heard it first here, folks. CJ is going Holly Holm to freaking upset Kayla Harrison. All right. You're good.
Next fight, guys, is going to be in the men's featherweight division. We got Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. Calvin Kattar, 23-7, 36 years old, 5'11", 72-inch reach. Aljamain Sterling, 23-4, 34 years old, 5'7", 71-inch reach. And this fight is interesting, folks. Sometimes I am a little biased. Calvin Kattar is one of my favorite UFC fighters, and that's because he's from Boston. But he's lost 2 fights in a row, and he's been on a long layoff, guys. His last fight was almost 2 years ago, and he lost by KO to Arnold Allen. He lost another fight to Josh Emmett, so his last win was 2 years and 2 months ago against Giga Chikadze. Aljamain Sterling, former champion, but his last loss was to the current champion, Sean O'Malley, and he lost by knockout. I think that's his first ever knockout he's suffered in his career, if I'm not mistaken. Before that, he was on a tear. He was beating everyone that came across him. And I think he's going to bounce back on this fight, guys. I think that Aljamain Sterling is going to be faster. I think he's going to be stronger. I think he's going to use his takedowns, his wrestling, his grappling. Because Aljamain Sterling, he doesn't really knock people out. I mean, he's got a couple finishers on his record. But if he gets this fight to the ground, he's going to go on his back like he usually does, and he's going to rear naked choke Calvin Kattar in this fight, guys. That's my prediction.
Okay. Yeah, man. So, like you said, we got the Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling, coming up to the featherweight division. He's up there with the big boys now. No more 135ers for him. He got knocked out in his last fight versus Mr. Sean O'Malley, Sugar Sean himself. I did not have Aljamain Sterling to lose. I did not see that happening. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Most of the time people only say, "Oh yeah, I had that knockout." I did not expect that to happen.
I did.
But
go back and look at it.
That's what's up, brother. So Aljamain Sterling, he has been knocked out before in his career. Actually, he got stretchered off by versus Marlon Moraes. He got knee in the chin, and that was scary. But you know, that was at 35, and him coming up at 45, I think that's gonna pay dividends for him because he's not cutting all that weight. And you know, if you check this dude out, man, this dude's a monster. He really weighs 100. He walks around at 170 pounds. Like, he's a monster. Calvin Kattar, he got his ACL torn in his last one versus Arnold Allen. He threw a kick, and I think it was first round stoppage. And we haven't seen him since 2022. The miles are on the clock for Calvin Kattar, big time. You know, this dude's doing rehab 7 days a week for 6 months at 35 years old. And that's gonna pay tolls for you, man. Aljamain Sterling, other than that last fight, you know, he does good with these tall guys. He climbs these guys like freaking monkey bars, and he's gonna find a back, and he's gonna just eat minutes. Because I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that Aljamain Sterling is gonna submit Calvin Kattar like bro is. I have decision. I'm not gonna lie. I have Aljamain Sterling by decision, and I just don't really see a lot of avenues for Calvin Kattar to win this fight. He's gonna be slow. He's gonna unless because you know all these people been on steroids, man. We just seen Chris Weidman last week on the steroids. All these people are coming up, so I don't know if Calvin Kattar been on it. If Calvin Kattar been on the juice, he just might come out crazy. But I'm going Aljamain Sterling, so that's that. Next up, though, we have Jiří Procházka versus Aleksandar Rakić. And this is another guy, who's coming off an injury. You know, Aleksandar Rakić, he tore his knee once again, had an ACL injury in 2022 versus Jan Blachowicz. And yeah, man, that was actually crazy because I predicted Jan Blachowicz to win that fight, a decision there, and I actually took the money line and I actually got paid that night. I was like, cash it. I ain't care. But you know, I actually like Rakić, man. He's boring to watch, but Rakić is good, man. If we just talking betting purposes, because this is a betting show, Rakić is a guy that I feel safe with my money on. I'm gonna be honest, because he wins minutes. He doesn't take big shots for real. We haven't really seen Rakić hurt too bad. The only time we really seen Rakić hurt, he did get cracked versus Volkan Oezdemir. And Volkan Oezdemir actually won a split decision because of that big moment in the second round where he got cracked by Volkan. That's the only time we really seen Aleksandar Rakić hurt. And I like Jiří Procházka. Don't get me wrong, he's flashy to watch, he's cool to watch, but his standard fundamentals aren't there. He's too wild. If he's like, he reminds me of a sharper Johnny. He's just a sharper Johnny Walker. He knows how to get his weapons off a little bit better. But you know, we just seen versus Alex Pereira, a guy who's just more technical. He just found a mark on Jiří, because Jiří is super defensively irresponsible. Sometimes he can lead in with his head, and I'm not betting on a guy who leads with his head. And Aleksandar Rakić is the better wrestler here. I just see this being probably one of the more boring fights on the card, unless Jiří makes it exciting. But I gotta go Aleksandar Rakić. What are you thinking, bro?
I'm sorry to say, bro, we're going to be opposite on this one, man. I think Jiří Procházka is going to win this fight. Former champion. He's fought the tougher competition. He's got more experience. The dude can take some hits. He's got a chin on him. So I don't think he's going to get finished either. He's got some heart. He didn't look too bad. He didn't look too bad against Pereira, to be honest. And that was kind of an early stoppage, if I'm not going to lie to you. So I think Procházka, you're right. He's a wild man. And Rakić, good wrestler, good on the ground. He's gritty. He's got heart himself, but I think Procházka's just got a little bit more heart, a little bit more of a dog in him. And I like that in him. Like, he looks for the finish. And that's what I like about Procházka. I like fighters who look for the finish. And there is a world out there, bro, that he can finish Rakić. There is a world out there. And I'm willing to bet on that.
Okay.
So that's my pick. It's Procházka. Next fight, guys, is the first fight on the main card for UFC 300. This card is stacked. We got the former champion Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Charles Oliveira, 34-9, 34 years old, 5'10", 74-inch reach. Arman Tsarukyan, 21-3, 27 years old, 5'7", 72.5-inch reach. This is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a true test for Arman Tsarukyan. Charles Oliveira, like I said, former champion, nasty on the ground, one of the best submission artists in UFC. Arman Tsarukyan, also pretty good on the ground, good wrestling, good grappling, and he's got a decent amount of power. But so does Charles Oliveira. The dude is a problem for anyone not named Islam Makhachev. He was on a tear before he lost to Islam Makhachev. He also lost, see, right there. But before that, the dude was a problem, and he bounced back from that loss to Benil Dariush. And I think he's going to get it done here, folks. I think Charles Oliveira is going to get another submission or possibly a knockout inside the distance for Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. I do like Arman Tsarukyan. He's the younger, fresher fighter. But I got to go with the more experienced fighter, the guy who's a former champion, the guy who's more proven, Charles Oliveira. Who you got in this fight, bro?
Yeah, bro. So I'm rolling with Arman Tsarukyan, man.
Oh my lord.
And this is crazy. You got Arman Tsarukyan, man, coming in today as a minus 230 favorite. He's 8-1 as a favorite. Charles Oliveira, he's a plus 176. And he does some of his best work at this underdog tag. He does, and he wins at an 8-4 clip. So he's 8-4, and he wins 66% of the time as a dog. Charles, I can surely see myself having, because this fight's pretty binary, man. It's either a stoppage on Charles Oliveira's side or Arman Tsarukyan. Like I'm predicting, he's gonna get in the guard of Charles Oliveira and not gonna be scared of his jiu-jitsu. Because honestly, like to be honest with you, Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev, they're damn near the same fighter. They're the same fighter. We've seen too many times. Like, yeah, I know that Charles Oliveira went on this big streak. I understand that, but I'm not scared of Oliveira. When I have a fighter against the other end of him that I know that's not scared of him, then I'm like, okay, well let's go to war. Like, come on, this guy Charles Oliveira was just an underdog versus Beneil Dariush. We just seen Beneil Dariush, and I called that. I knew Oliveira was going to do that. So it's like kind of when he's going to do it. But this spot, I'm rooting for Charles Oliveira, but Arman Tsarukyan is going to get in his guard and he's going to beat the shit out of him. That's what I'm predicting.
Bro, I don't know about that, and I forgot to tell y'all that Charles Oliveira is my dog of the card for UFC 300. Let's go.
Next up, we got Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage, and one could be asking, why is this on the main card? And to be honest with you, what they're thinking down the line. Maybe in 5 years, Bo Nickal being in the spot maybe might be more understandable. Because Bo Nickal, man, this dude is the future. This is a kid that is absolutely the future. He's 28 years old. Cody Brundage, 29. 6'1" for Bo Nickal, 6 foot for Cody Brundage, and 4-inch reach advantage for Bo Nickal at 76 to 72. Bo Nickal's a monster. This dude just saying a legit wrestler is an understatement. When I think wrestler, before Bo Nickal was even in the UFC, Bo Nickal's who I think about when I think high level wrestling. This guy, he's not just a wrestler either, man. He has jiu-jitsu for days. Maybe in this spot, I don't see Bo Nickal actually having to use his jiu-jitsu after what Cody Brundage did to Zach Reese, slamming him on his head like that. I don't think Bo Nickal wants to be playing triangles with fucking Cody Brundage. I think that Cody Brundage, this dude's a quitter. To be honest with you, I'm surprised that he got another opportunity after that Cedric Dumas fight. We just seen SD Dumas get beat up, which it was an eye poke. That was bullshit, but that's another story. I just felt like, the way he quit when that SD Dumas fight was bad. He had Rodolfo Vieira hurt, then he ended up quitting in that fight, and then it wasn't even really a fight. That Mikhail Olajaychik fight, that wasn't even a fight. I don't know how that got sanctioned. This is an absolute mismatch. You got Bo Nickal coming in as a minus 2,200 favorite. To be honest with you, at this line though, like I know that I might have $5 with Bo Nickal KO, because I mean, you can't tell me that there's not a world where Cody Brundage, he's 4-2. Cody Brundage is 4-2 as a dog. I'm trying to hype Cody Brundage up here, y'all. Cody Brundage Cody Brundage is 4-2 as a dog.
Go ahead. I'm not even gonna break down this fight. Cody Brundage has literally 0 chance in this fight. Bo Nickal's got him everywhere, bro. Bo Nickal's got him everywhere.
Hey, wrestling, man, you gotta
everywhere, bro.
It's not no world where Cody Brundage knocks Bo Nickal out.
No world. Not even an imaginary world, bro.
Then let's move on.
Next fight, guys, scheduled in the men's. This is a catchweight fight, right?
No, it's at 55.
Is that 55? He's coming up. Okay. All right. So this is a 55 lightweight division for the UFC BMF Bad Motherfucker Championship. Justin Gaethje, the reigning defending BMF champion, against Max Holloway. And this fight is going to be a war. This might be fight of the night, folks, right here. I'm telling you, do not miss this fight. Do not get out of your chair. Do not get out of your seat. Wherever you are, stay there and watch this fight. Because both of these guys go at it. Both of these guys got power. Both of these guys got good boxing, good kickboxing. They're both good on the ground. Justin Gaethje, 25-4, 35 years old, 5'11", 70-inch reach. Max Blast Holloway, 25-7, 32 years old, 5'11", 69-inch reach. And like I said, guys, this fight is going to be a war. This is 5 rounds. I don't know if this is going to be a stoppage or not because Max Holloway is hard to be stopped, and so is Gaethje. Both of these guys are extremely durable. Both of these guys can take some hits. They got good chins on them. But I gotta go with the best fighter, or not the best fighter, the best boxer in the UFC. Max Blessed Holloway and New. I love Justin Gaethje, don't get me wrong, but sometimes he can get too reckless in there, and we know that Max Holloway is a sniper, bro. We know that Max Holloway very technical, and like I said, probably the best boxer UFC has to offer. So give me Max Blessed Holloway to win this fight. He's my second dog of the card.
Yeah, guys, I don't know about that one. I think Justin Gaethje is going to get in here and he's going to be real violent, man. I think that Max Holloway is a guy who doesn't really check leg kicks. He checks leg kicks with his leg. And I just feel like with Justin Gaethje after the second round, Max will barely be standing. Max will be being wheelchaired off in this fight. He's not Max Holloway. He won't be. He's not going to no after parties. He's not celebrating with his family. Max Holloway will be damaged after this fight. I hate this fight. To be honest with you, I was just telling my brother, because my brother, he's a fan of the sport too, and I was just telling him, I said, I hope someone just calls off in this fight, because I love both of these fighters, and I actually like Max Holloway more than Justin Gaethje. But we already seen Max Holloway come up from and try to go get the interim belt versus Dustin Poirier. He got his ass whooped. I just watched that fight. I watched hours of Max Holloway, guys. I'm not just a guy talking. And I just see Max Holloway checking leg kicks with his legs. And the damage, it's just going to be so much damage. I'm not saying that Max Holloway isn't going to be getting his shots off, because the pressure from Max is going to be going crazy. But, we seen a guy like Fiziev come in with pressure, and, he didn't do good. Max Holloway beat him up. I definitely feel like this is a spot where we just see Max Holloway get beat the fuck up, and that's just my opinion. But next up, we slide to the next fight, co-main event of the evening, y'all. Zhang Weili Zhang, however y'all want to look at it, versus Nan Xiaoyan. And Nan Xiaoyan, this is gonna be a good fight, y'all. Both of these women here, they're both 8-2 in the UFC. They're like a mirror of themselves, guys. They're the same age. They're both from China. And yeah, man. Weili Zhang, she would be undefeated in the UFC if it wasn't for the 2 losses to Rose Namajunas. The first time she got head kicked, and then in the second fight, she just let minutes tick away. She was letting Rose. She just got caught staring at Rose. And to be honest with you guys, Weili Zhang, she's a good wrestler, but she doesn't really use it like she should. And I 100% recommend her using her wrestling in this fight, because if she doesn't wrestle, Nan Xiaoyan is the better striker here, folks. I know that may sound crazy, but I don't look at names. I look at tape. And Nan Xiaoyan, she was picking Andrade off, man. If you go back and watch Namajunas versus Weili Zhang, Namajunas, not Namajunas, but Andrade was getting some good shots off until she knocked Andrade out. So, you know, a lot of these fights she's coming from behind, like versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, where she had the big hematoma on her head. Despite the hematoma, Joanna Jędrzejczyk was looking really good. So what I'm saying is she has problems with wrestlers, and she has problems with women who can get in her face and strike her to death. I am going Jalin, the challenger, and new. I'm going and new Jalin to take the title in a decision win. What you got for me?
I'm thinking it still, bro. I'm thinking it still. I think Weili Zhang is the more proven fighter. She's got more experience. She's fought the tougher competition. She's got more power in her hands. Sneaky wrestling, sneaky ground game, you know. Yang Xiaonan, she's pretty sneaky herself. She's underrated, I'm not gonna lie. She's pretty good. But this is probably gonna be her toughest test to date, her toughest fight to date. And I'm taking the more dangerous fighter. I'm taking the more proven fighter, Weili Zhang, and new to win this fight.
And still.
Oh, yes, and still. My bad. And still. And guys, we have made it to the main event of the evening for UFC 300. What a stacked card. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video, comment on the video. You know how the algorithm works. Make sure to help us out, help the channel grow, get more subscribers, get more likes. We're the most underrated minds in the game for UFC, giving you fire picks, smoking on that fire weed. And this is the main event for UFC 300. Scheduled to be in the men's light heavyweight division for the UFC light heavyweight championship of the world. We have Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. And this fight is not going the distance. I promise you that. That's a good bet to make, under 4.5 rounds. We have the current reigning and defending champion, Alex Poatan Pereira, 9-2, 36 years old, 6'4", 80-inch reach. Jamal Hill, 12-1, 32 years old, 6'4", 79-inch reach. Alex Pereira has beaten the best UFC middleweight in the world, which was not a fluke because he's done it not once, but twice. Jamal Hill went out on an injury. He should still be technically champion. So he went on an injury, and now he's coming back. This is his first fight back. And this is a scary fight back, ladies and gentlemen, because both of these guys got really good knockout power. Alex Pereira, probably the best kickboxer in the UFC. Jamal Hill got really slick boxing, really good volume, but both of these guys got subpar cardio. Like after the third round, this is going to be a sloppy fight. Sloppy, but fun. If it makes it to the third round, because like I said, both of these guys got finishing ability. I don't know, man. I'm going back and forth on this fight. I'm so scared to bet this fight. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet it. Because Alex Pereira, he's a 2-division champion. Light heavyweight champion and middleweight champion. He's fought all the toughest competition that UFC has to offer. Jamal Hill, he's also fought everyone tough. And he's made it look easy. But his last fight against Glover Teixeira, which is the coach of Alex Pereira, I think that's going to give him issues here. I think that Glover Teixeira is going to learn from that fight and it's going to tell Alex Pereira exactly what to do. Alex Pereira has been working on his wrestling. He has been working on his grappling since he's been training with Glover. And like I said, he's got immaculate kickboxing. Jamal Hill, he's got knockout power, folks. So that's what I'm worried about in this fight. Because Alex Pereira, we've seen him knocked out before. But I got to go with Poatan and still to win this fight by knockout. Who you got in this fight, bro?
You know, so I don't know if you guys, for our viewers who just been listening to this whole card, we just been on opposite. So pretty much nothing's changed. And new undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world, Jamal Sweet Dreams Hill. It's happening. That's why I kept the glasses on. All the tape I watched, everything I've seen, everything's pointing Jamal Hill. I know that the leg kicks coming from Poatan are going to be dangerous. I know the left hook from Alex Pereira will be dangerous. But there's just way more things that Alex Pereira has to worry about coming his way. Because he's the more active fighter in Jamal Hill. He has the better, I'm not going to say the better footwork, but he does have the better ring field gentlemanship. He's going to be on his ass, plodding forward. He's going to Sean Strickland that man. And he's not, I know he got the knockout on Sean Strickland, but he's not going to find the mark, bro. Alex Pereira, he's not going to find the mark. Jamal Hill is going to be clipping him up, and he's going to rock him early, man. Jamal Hill is going to, I don't think this fight is going to be, I don't think this is going to more than 2 rounds, bro. We're going to know who's going to win this fight after the first round, point blank period. We'll know the winner. This ain't no live betting spot. I think whoever's winning the first round or wins it, it's just going to be what it is. I'm going and new. Jamal Hill, this is the first time we've seen him other than the Jimmy Crute fight after he got his arm broke. We won't be having to worry about jiu-jitsu in this spot. We've never seen Jamal Hill rock and wobble. I watched and went back and looked at everything, even his one and only amateur fight. I went back and I tried to find a reason to be like, yeah, Alex Pereira's gonna rock him. We have seen him hurt. Thiago Santos, he did have that little cut. He had the little hematoma. That's the only time we've just never seen him clip. We've seen Alex Pereira knocked out in glory boxing. My guy Cesar Almeida, I picked him last week, guys. He fought Cesar Almeida 3 times, and in the second fight, which Cesar Almeida won, he had a standing 8 count on Alex Pereira. Go back and look at it, guys. So we've just seen the damage on Alex Pereira is through the roof. If Alex Pereira was a vehicle, he's a Nissan Altima. And he's rolling on 190,000 miles now. They didn't roll his ass to death, and he's getting clipped in this fight. And that's it for me, guys. Jamal Hill, KO.
So that was the breakdown. That was the picks for UFC 300. Do not miss it, guys. Saturday, April 13th. This show is going to drop either Wednesday or Thursday before UFC 300 comes out, even before the UFC Fight Night Vegas 90 comes out, possibly. Who knows? I might surprise you guys. We're doing this nice and early, so make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video. What's the next card, bro?
Yeah, so I'm believing. I actually don't know. I can't lie to you, but I know we got 2 weeks off. That's what I do know, and I'm happy for that.
Yes, sir. We've been grinding, bro. We've been grinding and grinding just for you all. So make sure to like us. Make sure to subscribe. Check us out on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, CJUFCPicks, Sports Fanatic Gibbs, here each and every single week. This was a breakdown for UFC 300. We're out of here, folks. Have a great rest of your night.